I'm going to be talking about a position I took with SPY that turned out to be a $500 profit in one trade, one contract. A couple of things to highlight. This video is going to show you, at least teach you what I learned about entering into a position, because I did it really bad in this video and I want you to see how I did it bad so you can learn. The other thing is going to teach you as well is how to avoid getting stopped out. I don't know if you've ever got into certain positions in the past and you get stopped out, and as soon as you get stopped out, then the market literally begins to move where you wanted it to go, which is one of the most annoying, like the worst things ever, because you not only do you get stopped out, that means you also took a loss in that position, but you were right in your overall vision of what you thought the market was going to do, which is like two negatives. But anyway, you're going to learn that as well, and then you're also going to learn what to look for when you're in a position, just so you don't end up losing out on a lot of your profit as well. So you're going to learn how to manage a position, you're going to learn how to enter a position, you're going to learn things that I look at to be able to go into these positions with, minimum risk, and most of it is gains. All right, so before we begin, let me go ahead and start the video. So like I said, a SPY. The dailies look very basic. So open up sideways, started trending down. There's a lot of support zones here below this line, and there were little to no hiccups on top of it. So initially, and the trend on the dailies and weeklies were looking like a green, like it's going up, uptrend. And sorry, my brain is still foggy, so my words are just ridiculously not connecting right now. I think it still has to do with the cold I just recovered from. But back to what I was saying. So as you can see, I've already entered the position right now. A couple of things that I want to tell you, at least a couple of things you want to learn when it comes to getting into positions, is if you notice on this run up right now that has happened, I got into this position right here. But if you look at this run up, you will notice that every time you get a consecutive green candlestick going up, you're going to get a couple of reds. When you're going into an uptrend market, if you think the market is trending up or even trending down, wait for a pullback. And the pullback tends to always get really close to my EMA line. My EMA line right now is at 8 EMA. So wait for that pullback. You're going to get a better pricing on there, and then your stop loss is going to make a lot more sense. And you're going to see why I'm saying this in a second once I start fast forwarding this position, because this position I held it for about 30 minutes, but to be quite honest with you, we're not going to be watching the entire 30 minutes of this video, just due to I don't want to waste your time. Anyway, so right now I'm already down negative 20%, and I'm going to pause it right there. This is bad. This is really bad, because the reason I'm down negative 20%, which is typically my stop loss, I get out of positions at negative 20%. Sometimes I'll let it sit to 25. In this position, I actually let it go to 30, which is why I wanted to post this trade, because it's almost like a taboo. It's like I wasn't supposed to do this, but I ended up walking out with some money, which is why you got to look back and learn from everything. So the reason why I'm even down negative 20% is because, like I said earlier, I did not wait for the pullback. If I waited for the pullback, I would have bought it right here. I would have bought it essentially $100 cheaper, basically, if I had waited for the pullback. I bought it on the way up. So I bought it somewhere around right here. So if there's anything less than one, remember, wait for the pullback before you get into your position, long or short. The second thing too is watching this form, it literally rises back up and hits the top part there, which if anyone watching this, I know you probably know something called double top, but I know this is also a 1 minute chart, so it's very hard to call a double top on a 1 minute time frame, which is essentially gonna look like on a 5 minute time frame, this will all be one stick. So it's hard to even say that. But you can see things like that literally on the 1 minute chart sometimes, and sometimes you don't. But you also want to pay attention to that. If it hits that top and it tanks down again, you don't want to just ideally jump into the position as of yet. You want to see how it responds to this purple line that I have here, which is my EMA. So right now I'm almost back to 0%, so a wash trade, even if I had got in and is almost at the peak, just due to my entry being really bad. So this is where it gets ugly. So I'm gonna speed this up for you because I honestly, like I said, I don't want to sit here through a whole 30-minute trade video. But as you see here, it breaks below my 8 EMA. This is where I begin to panic. So not only am I down 20%, I'm down $100. I don't care much about that. I'm gonna pause it right here. This was my entry. This is where we are. It is clearly below where I entered. Clearly below where I entered. My stop loss is right here. Okay, stop loss is not there. My stop loss is not where I entered. My stop loss is not the VWAP line. That's too low, to be honest. My stop loss is right here. Okay, so I'm watching closely to see if it touches where my mouse is, this mouse. And it gets awfully close because it opens up red again and now it's below the line. When it does that, then it shows some switch in momentum. And at that point, I was down negative 35%. I would not advise that you ever hold a position down negative 35%. I just cannot advise that. To me now, would never do that. But in reality, this position is still good to me, at least. You know. So this is where things now need to like really start making a little bit of sense to me, and I hope it will to you. Your entry matters a lot. Your entry matters a lot. This is clearly a great trade, as you will see in a second from now. But my entry was so bad that I could have exited this trade at almost a 40% loss, just because of how bad my entry was. The reason why I did not exit, I'll say that one more time, is that I had a mental stop right here at this point. And if it gets to that point, I believe that was 368, about 60 cents. If it gets to that point, then this whole trade is washed. This whole trade does not matter. So as long as it's above there, I'm still great, which will lead up to what happens in a second from now. So if you watch closely, it gets really close to get there, and then it flips back up. And now I want to see this flip up and flip above that EMA, which is what it did right now. And as soon as it did that, you know what I'm saying, baby, we back in the game. So I go back from negative almost 40% down to what, -8. Now I'm getting back to 0. But this is what I mean by entry points mattering so much, because I could have literally just watched the entire time and just entered right now. Not even right this moment, but when it was once it flipped above the EMA. And that would have made me get this for almost $100 cheaper than what it was. So from this point on, I love what I'm seeing because the momentum is now clearly moving back into my favor. So what I'm basically going to be doing from here on out is watching and reading the tape. So a couple of things I look for in the tape is just I'm looking at orders. If you look to your right here, you can see my order book. I'm looking at orders that I see pending. That I see that are placed that haven't been executed yet. And I'm just trying to look at the size of the orders, and I just want to see some consistency on the ask side. And then also I'm watching the tape, the time of sales tape, to see how how rapid it's moving and what's actually getting filled. And a couple of things that I would like to highlight is when I zoom out in this position, you can see how the trading range through the pre-market. See how it halts over there? That's part of the reason I had this line, and this line actually extended back a couple of days back as well towards certain highs that I noticed. And this low line is not only like the low period in the pre-market. This low line also had a couple of things to do with the previous day as well. There were a couple of points that low line had crossed through the previous day. But going back, getting back into the trade and looking back into it, the one thing I'm looking for now is to see how it reacts getting close to this line. Because there's two things that's going to happen. It's either going to hit the line and come back down, and then I'm going to exit this trade because I'm up about 20% right now, or it's going to hit the line, and then it's going to break through that line. And if it breaks through that line, then my profit is literally going to double instantly within a minute. And I'm banking on a breakout because one it never even got to this line here, and it's bound to break out one of these lines. So I'm leaning very highly on this line right here. And I'm also happy that I'm already in a position going into this because I have profit already baked in. So if it decides to like dance and wiggle and moonwalk and do whatever it want to do on that line, I'm good. I'm still in the green, so I can just sit there and watch me, essentially. But all right. So getting back to the trade at 370, we're trading at 370.25. Looking at some orders to see what is pending on the order book. And I'm noticing that there's some great size on the 35 all the way to 40. That whole range from 35 to 40, 35 cents to 40 cents has some great orders in there. So I'm literally watching this and expecting it to just kill all those orders like it literally just did. So now we're up to 50. I'm looking at 50. So it's very consistent on the 50 end. You're seeing 50, 57, 55, literally all solid. So I'm watching it just jump right through it and eat them up. And then if you look closely, now we're getting close to the 80 range. And so between 70 and 80 also looks pretty solid to me as well. So I'm looking at everything and I'm just literally sitting back and basking and just letting my position build. Now I'm up 40%, about $200. At this point, I see it hit the line and reject for a second, so I'm almost contemplating the close. I'm closing at 43%, $200. That's not bad. I mean, honestly, I'll take that any day, to be quite honest with you. But like I said earlier, if it breaks through that line, then I'm looking at literally double profit of what's gonna happen, and all just because of momentum. To be quite honest with you, that's why. And my strike price on this extra option is only about 3 points. It's only about 3 points away, 4 points away from where it is now. So if you watch closely, you're gonna see as soon as it approaches the line, we're trading at 88 cents. The thing you look for, you want to see this stacked up. You know, the only thing that is empty here is 371. That's the only thing that is empty. But everything else is, the bases are loaded, just like it's loaded here. But I'm not worried about here because I'm trading on this side. And as long as this is healthy, I could care less what's on this side. The only time that you can't focus on all of them. You know, if I'm playing puts, I'll be looking here. If I'm playing calls, I'm looking here. And the other thing I like to say is once this starts drying up, that's when I get scared, and that's when I want to exit the trade. So as you see here, it poked out 371. Now it's trading at 371.04. I'm still seeing some decent size orders there. Still seeing some decent size flow. If you watch this and watch the tape, you're seeing big, huge orders just go right through that tape, and that tape is speeding up, and that's what I love to see. So that's how I managed this position. I essentially watched it, you know, trade out of the range, come back, kiss it a little bit, even goes below it for a second, and I'm up about $250, about 54%. A lot of people are buying into this particular position right now just because of they're literally buying into it because of they're seeing that this is breaking out. And so even with it going down, my position is still holding pretty healthy at this point. The other thing I watch out for is how does it react to this line when it comes down. Ideally, I want to see it bounce back up off the line. And once it does that, let me show you another little thing here. So as you see, we're trading at 15, 371 15 cents. If you look here, all the bases are loaded from 17 all the way to 26. Essentially, all those orders are gonna get filled. I just feel that confident. And if you see here, it's a little light on the front end, so they're gonna get filled. And watch what happens in like the next 3 seconds. It's gonna literally just shoot up because it's gonna fill in about 10 cents worth of orders in the span of literally like 3 seconds. So, and that's what I'm talking about. That little jump you see right there. Good God, this video long. But that little jump right there, that's it filling in about literally, that was about 30 cents orders right there, to be honest. That went from 24 to 56. Yeah, it's about 30 cents worth of orders. I can only see about 20 up here. And this particular frame, you can only see I think you can only see about 10. So I'm using the order book to be able to see those orders, and that's why I'm still in the position. And as you can see, I'm past the 100 point, and you see I have my finger on the trigger to sell, and just back up again. I'm at the 510 point, and 500, 530. Yeah, there's anything I like to tell you is just watch out for the pullbacks. Make sure your stop losses are diligent. Don't hold positions past 30%. I normally don't do that. I didn't even know I was that low on my end, to be quite honest. I wasn't looking at P&L, I was watching the chart. Oh, sorry, still recovering. And the other thing is also, if you're scalping, for sure, definitely use the order book level 2s to see a little bit more about what's coming in down the pipe, so you know when to exit or even enter a position as well. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. Again, like I said, I'll be posting more and more often, especially now I'm getting back on recovery mode. And I look forward to posting more in the future. If you have any questions, my Instagram will be on the bio description on YouTube. And I look forward to chatting up with you soon. Peace.